Hey friends, did you know that in order to be a successful entrepreneur, your business needs to create opportunities for more sales in more places, repeatable systems that save you time and money, and to gain visibility that creates awareness where your customers are actually buying?
Well, the doors to Multi-Stream Machine are open. Multi-Stream Machine is the only implementation program of its kind that shows you exactly how to get onto multiple revenue generating platforms and teaches you how to grow a sustainable product business with effective systems, more visibility, and more sales. Multi-Stream Machine focuses on action and implementation, not just learning.
This course shows you exactly what to do without the guesswork and without the heavy lifting of figuring it all out on your own. By the end of this program, you will have prepared your business systems to grow across multiple platforms. You will have learned how to pull your customers towards you to buy and engage. You will have created opportunities to sell to your customers where they are. You will have built customer loyalty and purchases through email, social platforms, and in person, and you'll have optimized the platforms you're currently selling on.
Head on over to www.multistreammachine.com and sign up. Let's build your product-based business together. Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my very cool co-host, Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Hey, Mina.
Hey, Jacqueline.
You're like, you're not so cool by introducing me in that way.
I felt like I should have done, like how they, whenever it was like cool cat.
Yeah.
Like that.
I love you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah.
That's a Tiger King reference for any of you that did not binge that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
All right. Today's episode is great. So a lot of you, this is great for you if you're in that startup stage, or if you are, a seven-figure business and you're thinking about trying something new in your business, right? Because when you're doing this, when we're trying things that are new, when we're in development, when we're pushing something out in our business, it's this time of like test and try, right? A lot of money goes into it, a lot of effort goes into it, and we're in that test and try stage. And a lot of times you're limited in both time and money, time to get it out, money to prove that it's going to work. And so today's episode, we're going to talk about how to break even and get profitable fast.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, that it really is for anybody at any stage, because you as the creative visionary of your business, you're probably always going to have the close touch to development. And so sometimes that looks like you being the designer of, the pottery that you design or the jewelry you design, or it is in the development, which could be the startup of your actual business. So no matter what, you are really building yourself to be this creative visionary that still always will be some part of that development.
Right. And so if you're in startup mode, right? Like if you're in that realm that you've created a bunch of products, you have products, maybe you're coming out with products. And the thing that we need to think about for you is that you are limited on time and money. Both resources are scarce because at some point you're going to stop borrowing money or putting it on credit card or pulling it out of your savings with your family or taking investments, right? And so we need to prove the concept. We need to prove that what you're making actually works, it's viable in the market, and that there's customers there to buy it. Time too, right? You may have given yourself a certain amount of time to do this. You may have a spouse, a partner, a parent that's like, all right, well, how long are you going to keep doing this for until it actually works, until your business can pull its own weight versus you continuously putting into it. And listen, that could take a long time. It could take a little time, but depending on who you are and where you are in your life and what, season you're in, you are going to be limited in time and money. Each of us, our resources are different, but we each have a capacity to that.
Yeah. And I will tell you, the more money you spend, the quicker this can go.
Actually, it's true.
It's true.
Which is a hard part. Like if some people are self-made or self-funded and they have a lot of money and they can invest in it. And we've seen it. We've seen people that they hire the right people, they hire team members, they take courses, they get coaches, they join masterminds, and they're able to fast track it. And they're also able to pay for marketing. So marketing teams,
Right.
ads,
And
people
they're
to
able to
run.
fail, right? Because a lot of
Yeah.
this, though I call it failure, you're, like you said, you're testing and trying a lot of different things. So you have to spend money in order to test all these different things. And sometimes when people don't have the money, they have to take it slower. They're researching the things themselves. They're, waiting till a certain season comes about that they can have a budget for marketing, like what you said. And it does, like, when you have the money to play around with or invest in, or, just even having the money to lose, you can gain a lot of time back from that.
Right. So if any of you out there are like disheartened by that conversation, don't be. Listen,
Yeah.
Nina and I are scrappy and we've started businesses from scratch
Right.
with very little startup capital, right? Or that we still did other things in order to pay our bills while we built a new business.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
a lot of times when you have the money, you invest in paid marketing or paid testing. And for you and I, we've always believed in organic, always, because it's a slower roll, obviously, but you gain a lot more knowledge than just, where the things need to fix. You also gain a new perspective as you move forward every single month that you're moving forward.
Right. So when we talk about this and you're like, okay, ladies, let's talk about how to do this, right? We want to figure out how you can break even and get profitable fast. So again, especially if you're in that startup stage, that test and try stage, you've come out with a product, you're trying to sell it. Maybe you're on Etsy, or maybe you've launched your own website, or maybe you're selling on Instagram and you have a single point that you're trying to sell through. And I don't know what your products look like, but you may have created a whole bunch of them, right? Maybe you haven't worked with us in our bestseller secrets challenge, or, in multi-stream machine where we've coached you in the past, because we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast. We want to just talk about that. So first and foremost, what we want you to do is you need to prove your concept. So what does that mean? When you come out with a product, whether it's a new category to your business, or you're in that startup stage and you're coming out with something, you have to prove it. You need to have a minimal viable product, which is something you can take out to market and prove that people actually want what you're selling, and tweak it.
And how do you prove it? Well, you get them to pull out their wallet, give you the money in their wallet in exchange for the good that you have, right? The finished goods. And that is the proof of concept. You're validating the idea with a sale of it. And you're like, oh, people are willing to pay me for this. That's how you prove it.
Right. And sometimes what happens, what we see, is that when you start businesses, you come out with a whole bunch of things. So what are you even talking about, right? Like if you're coming out and you're like, I'm going to do a bath and body line, and you've created body lotions and bath bombs and shampoo bars and conditioners, and you have all of this stuff, and then you have all of these different variations on it. So all of these different scents and whatnot to all of the products you're coming out with. How can you even prove, like, if you have a small audience, a small customer base to sell to, how do you even know what they want from you? Because maybe one person buys the lavender bath bomb over here, and then one person over here buys like the rainbow, citrus selling conditioner over here. And so when you have a lot of products, you start to split your sales, or you might start to see one start to win, right? Like take the lead.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to backtrack a little bit, because I did say that person has to take out their wallet and pay for the sale. But we've talked about how it can be a pre-sale, or you're validating the idea in general with social media. Let's say you have an idea for a specific product for equestrian line, and you're validating it with that people are interested in equestrian products or whatever it is. In that case, the currency is the follow. The currency is the email, and not the actual dollar per se, but you're validating it in that form of currency.
Yeah. So the thing that I think both of us are trying to get to explain to you right now is that there is a minimal viable product and there is trial and error, but it doesn't mean that you have to actually come out with all of the products to prove that somebody wants to exchange money for it. Now, if you're pushing stuff out and you don't have anything to sell and they're just following you, Okay, that's one part, right? We need to get them converting on the back end. But the idea here is like you have a small audience. I'm going to go back to my bath bomb example, and you have citrus and you have lavender, and you're polling people. Maybe before you go and make 50 of each, you poll people and you're like, lavender or citrus? Lavender or
Mm-hmm.
citrus? You ask your parents, you ask your family, you send it to your email list, you ask your friends, you put it on social. And if the majority of the people go lavender, then go to lavender first, test
Mm-hmm.
it, put the products out there in that. And then with that audience that said, I want lavender, and then you're giving them lavender, what are they buying in lavender? What product? How many are they buying from you? Because I think the
Mm-hmm.
biggest error that we see that so many people do is they go wide and not deep. And we say go
Yeah.
deep and not wide.
Right.
Hey, friends, did you know that in order to be a successful entrepreneur, your business needs to create opportunities for more sales in more places, repeatable systems that save you time and money, and to gain visibility that creates awareness where your customers are actually buying?
Well, the doors to Multi-Stream Machine are open. Multi-Stream Machine is the only implementation program of its kind that shows you exactly how to get onto multiple revenue generating platforms and teaches you how to grow a sustainable product business with effective systems, more visibility, and more sales. Multi-Stream Machine focuses on action and implementation, not just learning.
This course shows you exactly what to do without the guesswork and without the heavy lifting of figuring it all out on your own. By the end of this program, you will have prepared your business systems to grow across multiple platforms. You will have learned how to pull your customers towards you to buy and engage. You will have created opportunities to sell to your customers where they are. You will have built customer loyalty and purchases through email, social platforms, and in person, and you'll have optimized the platforms you're currently selling on.
Head on over to www.multistreammachine.com and sign up. Let's build your product based business together. So, I think there's a bunch in here. I kind of want to break it down into little steps and pieces for all of you in that example that Jacqueline gave, right? The lavender example. So, first thing was you need a proof of concept. Second thing is that you test and try quickly until you see one that catches fire or goes into the lead or, that looks like people are more interested in that specific thing. And then you lean into that. The less SKUs or products that you have, it makes it easier to lean into that because you don't have all these random, different other SKUs that you now have to get rid of because you came out with too many things. Also your efforts are very honed in when you're knowing, oh, I'm just validating the idea. And then you're attracting the customers that are coming to your business or your brand. And then they are the ones who give you the feedback. Ooh, I really like this one. I really love this lavender scent one. And because you're testing and trying very quickly, that's when you move it into the secondary part, is that you test on new platforms. So now that you've figured out, like Jacqueline said, you validated the idea, you've tested and tried very quickly, you know what people are liking, you've gotten the feedback, then you very quickly test on new platforms to see where that can take that particular product.
Yeah, and we get this question a lot in the Bestseller Secrets Challenge, and then from our students in Multi-Stream Machine, where they want to get onto Amazon or they want to start selling wholesale, for example, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put everything up there. Wholesale is a bit different, but when you lean into wholesale, you might be pushing your bestsellers. You might be leading with buyers with those. But on Amazon, for example, it might be like, hey, I want to get on Amazon and I want to put everything on there. Well, we typically say, look to your bestseller, start there, because we don't know. The proof is, are people going to buy on that new platform? Are the customers there? Do they like what you're selling? Are they searching for what you are selling on that platform? But if we know that people already hands down buy a certain product from you because it's your bestseller, then we know that it's not the product, it's the platform. And the only way you're going to know whether it works or not is if you try it, you need to try. So we go from that test and try of product, then into test and try of new platforms. And you get on there and you get on there fast and you try one, two new platforms and you try and turn that machine, you try and turn that on and lean into those platforms now with your best selling products, because that's how you're going to start making money. That's how you're going to break even and get profitable, because now you know, okay, all my money is going into these raw goods to make these products because I'm leaning into my best sellers, and I'm going to take my best sellers and I'm going to sell more of them in more places to more people.
Yeah, for sure. I love that because, we've validated the idea. So we know we're taking something that's performing and we're putting it onto a platform. Now, when something's performing, you also kind of should do a little double check on margins. Platform to platform, things are different, right? Like Jacqueline was talking about wholesale, that is a cut into your margin. Amazon is a cut into your margin. There's also platforms, if we want to think of it as platforms, I hear a lot of people call them platforms, and we kind of do too. Is there's the social media platforms, there's email as a platform, there is in person as a platform, all these different platforms. And what is the margin that's getting taken out? And is it still viable on that platform? It may not be, right? If it's, even though it's performing, you validated the idea, but now you have to make it work across platform.
Right. And before all of you jump to another conclusion, we're like, oh, I don't want to lose any percentage on my product by being on another platform, right? Like if only I sold on this one place, or I showed up at farmer's market, or I kept selling on Etsy, you might feel comfortable at that point where you think that your product feels safe because these percentages off on other platforms. But here's the problem. Here's the kicker. It's probably because you're not pricing correctly. So there's two parts to this, right? Yes, 100% what Mina said. Does it make sense on those platforms based on how you're pricing it? But if you, like our students of Multi-Stream Machine, for example, one of our very first trainings in there is about pricing and how to get the right margins. If and when you have your margins in the right place, you can afford the costs and the percentages that come with the cost of doing business, where it does eat into your margin. But if you're priced correctly, it's okay. Your business can bear it. And not only can your business bear it, your business can be profitable. Your business can make money and generate revenue. But we have to make sure that those things are dialed in.
Yeah, for sure. Which moves us to, after you're testing these platforms, you've tested the product, you've tested the platform, you've validated or you've confirmed the pricing is there, the margins, whatever platforms. And now we move on to, let's test the marketing. I know that I had said that marketing potentially could be, the email and the social, but now that they kind of cross over, because you can buy stuff on Instagram, you can definitely make money every time you send out an email. They're kind of flowing into each other. So now you test out the marketing. How is it that your customer really, really connects with you and that you can convert them the best?
Yeah. And so a lot of times I'll just go back to the Amazon idea. When somebody gets on Amazon, they wonder, how do I turn on that machine, right? Like, how do I get more sales on Amazon? And so it then moves to you as a business owner to show up and sell, but also to market and bring traffic to these platforms that you're selling on. Because once you get there, once you've, your tried and true product is there, you've tried this platform, you're like, yes, this is a place I want to grow. You need to bring the nutrients, you need to feed you need to feed the algorithm and get the people to go and buy. And so that comes into the marketing part. How are you showing up and selling? How are you driving traffic there? Are you building your email list and sending people, hey, we're on Amazon, put up a review and buy from us? And again, a lot of the pushback that we get from our students is, well, what about that percentage? If I could just sell to them directly, and not send them over to Amazon, right, I would make more money. True. But Amazon on its own, once you get that machine going, has the ability to reach so many more people, more than you would ever, with all the advertising budget in the world. And I know I'm using Amazon as an example, but it's any platform. If you're going to test any platform, then you're going to also test marketing efforts to run traffic there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because sometimes the marketing is organic and we really want it to be. So you're not taking into account the fact that marketing is paid as well, right? So when you think about all of this, we basically want you to break even and get profitable as quickly as you can. And the general formula for this is your gross sales, all the sales that you're making, the revenue you're making minus your expenses equals your profit. Right. And so when you're thinking about all those expenses, sometimes it's marketing expenses, you for sure it is cost of the good, right? The expense of overhead plus all those things. And so you're really taking that into account to even break even, because as a startup, even when you're coming out with a new product and you have an existing business or you're starting a new product, you have to break even. Like you go negative first. Development is expensive. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It just costs money. I should say that. And I think that there's certain words I'm throwing out here. I don't want you to think that it's expensive. It costs money. And then you have to break even in order to get to that point of being profitable.
And then the goal for you then, right, is that your business starts to become profitable and you can reinvest within your business from your business. So your business can then take some of the money it's generated, reinvest into buying raw goods, reinvest into upgrading something, hopefully at some point paying yourself. We know you're not at that point yet a lot of times, and it takes a point where you're profitable. You've leaned into your bestsellers, you've really worked on your margins, you've gotten onto platforms, you're like, yes, I've turned these on and they're working. And then you'll start to see your revenue generate, right? Like you'll be able to double and triple and quadruple your sales quite quickly. And so I know it's hard right now in the place that you're at to foresee that, but as you start to test, try, and start to generate more revenue, you will be able to start to pay yourself a little bit. You'll be able to maybe have money to pay and hire a team member to help you continue to grow it. You'll be able to start to pay for things and bills from your business. It takes a while until you as the business owner stop investing in your business, from your own personal, until you can then have the business do it. But you can do it. And we've seen it time and time again from our multi-stream machine students. And so we know that's it for you. So I want you all to realize at the point that you're at right now, the things you need to focus on are your mindset. Okay, one of the biggest obstacles in this whole episode and all the things we're talking about is just your mindset. Can you get your brain wrapped around this new way of doing business?
Mm-hmm. And doing things quickly. Don't get stuck on overthinking this.
Right. And also testing, trying, letting it run for 60 to 90 days where you're really putting in your efforts. And if it doesn't work, then you can stop and try something new, but you've tried it. Then the other part is that you're going to figure out your bestseller. We have a challenge to help you with that. If you haven't done so already, it might have changed for you, but you're going to figure out your bestseller. You're going to go deep and not wide by leaning into your bestseller. Then you're going to get more sales because you're going to take that bestseller, you're going to get it onto more platforms, and you're going to really start to make sales, which is going to get you break even and profitable quite quickly. And finally, it's that visibility part, right? It's that marketing. You're going to work on your visibility. More people do need to know about you to know that they can buy your products. They want what you have to sell. They just don't know that you're there. So you need to grow that visibility. So those are the 4 things that we'd love for you to think about and work on, as well as working your way through this. So if you need any other help, we have the Bestseller Secrets Challenge. You just head to the show notes and you can sign up for it. We also have Multi-Stream Machine, which the doors are opening very soon. And we want to help you get there as well. And we've seen it happen time and time again.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Sign up. Check out the show notes.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.